Welcome again, Maxim here, and in this video I will introduce you to the Railjacks topic, what it is, how to get it, but also what can you do with it and where. I will also discuss its components and armaments, on which you should focus and how to mod your ship. To get a Railjack, you need to complete the Rising Tide story quest. This begins with building an onboard system, Valance, that will guide you where you can retrieve Railjack components. After each scan of a component, you go to the dry dock in your dojo, or you can go to Relay. This room is also there. In it, using required resources, you rebuild 6 parts of your new spaceship, one after another. The last required item is the reliquary key, which will allow your Railjack to quickly travel through the void. You will find the key on a special mission on Lua, and the reliquary itself is at the back of your ship. After completing the quest, you will have access to 2 panels in the dry dock. The left one is for researching Railjack components. These are regular variants, but on missions you can find most of them in better versions. They can drop both from enemy ships and as a reward for completing mission or rotation. Each variant can have a different range of statistics. The components in these versions also always have some bonus stat or effect. On weapons, it is one additional specific property. For example, more damage or fire rate. They have no alternatives. However, the basic components of a given type can have one of 2 different bonuses. Except for the Vidar shields, they have one of 3 different bonuses. Okay, let's talk about components and armaments. Left panel is for researching new parts, which afterwards can be fabricated. In the right panel, you have basic components in the first tab and armaments in the second. Having larger quantities of components, you can sort them by model from MK1 to MK3 or by the factory they come from. Sigma, default one, manufactured in the left panel, Lavan, Vidar and Zetki. You can examine and repair wrecked components obtained from the mission. Each one has a specific predefined bonus. Inspect option is to discover their statistics and which bonus a given component has. Inspecting the weapon determines the amount of bonus, because there's always a specific one, depending on the factory. Component can be repaired with resources and credits, or with special drones, which performs repairs immediately. They are a rare reward on Railjack missions. If you do not recognize a resource from the list required for repair, you will definitely find it on the Railjack missions. However, if you are not interested in a given component, you can scrap it for endo. At the top, you have options that give you the ability to quickly and massively manage wrecked and rebuilt parts. Once you have rebuilt a component, you will see 2 icons at the bottom of the screen. Right one gives you the opportunity to scrap a component and recover 80% of the resources used to repair it. The left icon is a Valance Fusion. It allows you to increase the stats of a given component until it reaches its maximum values. In the case of basic components, you can now see their maximum values on the screen, and in the case of weapons, it is always 60%. Fusion consumes 1 additional component of the same type, factory, and it would be best if of the same rank. The upgraded component will increase its stats by 10%. If item used for an upgrade has more percent than the one you are upgrading, the fusion will result in a 10% increase of a higher value. However, upgrading with a MK1 part increases only by 2% and with the MK2 by 5%. Example, upgrading MK3 weapon. Its bonus stat is 50%. Using a different weapon with a lower bonus but with the same rank will increase bonus stat in the upgraded weapon up to 55%. Performing a Valance Fusion costs either endo or credits and resources, depending on whether you are doing it with a build component or with a wreckage. To use the wreckage, you must first examine it. When you're performing the fusion of the basic components, you choose which bonus the upgraded part should have, whether the one that it currently has or the one that is on part you are using to upgrade. So you can use Valance Fusion strictly to increase the stats while keeping the bonus or exchange bonus for a part that already has a very good stats. Let me remind you that the higher stats, the more Valance Fusion gives. Finally, to finish the topic of basic components, I recommend the Zetki reactor to maximize Railjack damage, while other components should be Lavan or Vidar. Zetki shields, engines and plating are not much profitable, but there are no significant differences between Vidar and Lavan. They are marginal. so just a matter of which stats and bonuses suits you better. Each factory is a good choice. I personally use Valance. Now let's discuss how the individual turrets work. You don't have ammo while shooting, but overheat bar. Each Railjack has two pairs of turrets, front and dorsal. Front ones are for the pilot, other ones are in the middle of the ship. Depending on the variant, turrets of a given type will have a different bonus, additional damage or fire rate. Let's move on to how specific turrets shoot. The presented variants are the Z-Key type MK3 model, fully upgraded. All of them, except for Fortar, it has no such bonus, are with plus 60% fire rate bonus, but in the tables you can also see other possibilities. Some turrets are hitscan, others are not. Those that are not, while aiming, offer a special marker where to aim to hit a distant enemy. In the Armaments tab, you will also find an alternative weapon. There are currently 3 types available. You fabricate them in the left panel in the dry dock. I recommend the Tycho Seeker. After pointing at enemy, triangles will appear around the health frame, and when they stop moving, that means you targeted the enemy. Fired missile will try to hit this target. The third tab on the Railjack configuration is your Plexus, the space where you install mods. You get them on Railjack missions. I recommend mods for increasing damage and Railjack speed. About the aura, you can use something for forge, or you can take aura that adds more armor and hull. However, this is a configuration of basic mods. There are also a combat and tactical ones. In combat, Void Hull with Munition Vortex is a very nice combination, but Seeker Valley, in the combination with the appropriate Z-Key reactor, eliminates enemies much faster. And in tactical mods, I recommend Battleforge, Formap or Void Cloak. Of course, it all depends on your preferences and playstyle, so I strongly encourage you to test other mods as well. Remember that you can check mods you are missing in the third tab from the right in the mods section in Orbiter. You can read their description, and if you fill your codex, you can even see where to get specific mod from. Going forward, next are Intrinsics. Here you see 5 skill trees that develop Railjack's active and passive abilities, but some also affect Archwings and Necromechs. Each tree offers the development on a different field. Some perks are practically essential for comfortable Railjack use, but there are also some that will not be important to you, or are just a way to get some perks further down the tree. Either way, you earn intrinsic points on Railjack missions by gaining affinity, so a good option to farm them is to play endless missions such as Defense, Survival or Orphix Venom. All 3 are available on Corpus missions. Grineer don't have any endless ones. In the upper right corner of Intrinsic screen you have a number of spare points you currently have. The subsequent levels cost as many as power of 2. For the first level, 2 to the power of 0, then 2 to the power of 1, etc. Ending with 2 to the 9th power, so for the 10th skill you need 512 points. Maximizing one tree costs 1023 points. One intrinsic point is equal to 10% of gained affinity on a mission, divided by 100. So, by gaining 50,000 affinity on the mission, you will get 5 intrinsic points. Silent kill bonus, 1 from Smita, and regular boosters also work. Each one skill unlocked in the tree adds 1500 mastery points to your profile. In another tab you have crew members. You gain access to them by developing the command tree. Crewmates can be hired from the ticker on Fortuna, or you can also assign Kuvalage or Sister of Parvos here. In the command tree, you will also find skills for upgrading them, hiring better ones, or summoning a selected crew member for 3 minutes on regular missions. You equip them with your own weapons, assign roles, and you can customize their appearance. The last tab of Railjack management is its visual configuration. Now let's discuss navigation. There are 6 locations, Proximas. Earth and Saturn are Grineer. Venus, Neptune and Pluto are Corpus. Veil Proxima is half occupied by both factions. Proximas on Earth and Venus are the starting locations. After completing all missions there and having any of the intrinsic at level 3 or higher, you gain access to the Saturn and Neptune Proxima. Unlocking next locations similarly requires completing all available nodes and having any intrinsic on level 5 and 7. Grineer missions require the destruction of a specific number of smaller and larger ships, where the larger ones, cruise ships, can be destroyed from the inside by destroying the reactor or by using a forward artillery. But also, if you like, you can hijack them by killing the pilot and using his position. Other objectives require to visit them, hack from inside, and destroy marked components outside. It is also possible on Saturn to fight a boss or a Kuvalage. Sisters of Parvos are on Neptune. Sometimes you can find derelicts. Visiting them is an additional target. Corpus missions have a different structure. In each mission, you must board the main enemy ship and complete certain tasks there. Tasks can be unique to Railjack missions, or they can be well known, such as extermination or spy. Each mission there may contain additional objectives, the completion of which rewards you with resources, endo, credits, relics, parts for unique weapons, or Nautilus parts. Additionally, on the Veil Proxima navigation, you may come across a mission that flashes red. On this mission, you will encounter an anomaly, Sentients Murex, which you can clear out of enemies and get an anomaly shard. You can exchange them for special items at Little Docks. On Railjacks, you can also play Void Storms. This is a special mode in which you open relics. There you can get Sevagov parts. Let's talk about Railjacks usage. Some of the functionalities described here may not be available for you, because some of them need to be unlocked by Intrinsics. In front of you, you have a pilot's seat. He has his own turrets, alternative weapon, and 3 skills, installed in Plexus. These skills depend on the player, not Railjack build. Second turrets are in the central part of the ship. The third offensive position is forward artillery. This is a powerful charged shot, designed to destroy cruise ships. For a perfect shot, aim at the side engines. Each player, while using any turrets or cannon, can shoot alternatively, but also use skills he has put into his own Plexus. To use skills, you must have energy in your Warframe. On Railjack, you have also tactical skills. You can access them under the tactical screen. By default on PC, the L button. Here you can also manage crew, assign them roles, use their skills, check what they are doing, or teleport to them. Speaking of teleporting, one of the intrinsic abilities allows you to teleport to the Railjack from anywhere, using Omni, a special tool that is used to repair damage inside the Railjack. To teleport or pull it out, just use the gear wheel. Fixing ship insides is similar to mining. You start and release the button in the right moment. You will also be able to fix the damage by clicking their icons on the map on tactical screen, even the largest ones, that need to be fixed in less than a minute. On this map you will also see white markers. These are buttons for a fast travel around the ship. In the highest part of the Railjack you will find a slingshot. It can launch the player at the great distance, and with appropriate skill, it can immediately break inside cruise ships, galleons, or facilities. The last place is Forge. Here you can convert resources collected during the mission into Revelite, Omnifuel, Energy Restore, Hull Renewal, alternative missiles, or dome charges for forward artillery. Used Forge needs to cool down. Collected resources and blueprints are shared on Railjack missions. And that's all in this video. Have fun on Railjack. If you have any questions, please type them in the comment section or visit one of my streams, link in the description. See you next time, bye.